Are you excited about the next big thing in Canon's lineup? The rumored Canon V10 Mark II has sparked a lot of curiosity, especially with talk of a 20.2 megapixel stacked sensor. But what does that mean for you? Will it be a true upgrade, or just another minor step forward? Let's break it all down, keeping things clear and practical. Let's start with what everyone's talking about, the 20.2 megapixel stacked sensor. If you've been following camera tech for a while, you know megapixels often get thrown around like a magic number, but the truth is, they're just one piece of the puzzle. What makes a stacked sensor special isn't just the megapixels, it's the architecture. Unlike traditional sensors, a stacked design layers different components vertically, meaning the sensor can process data faster. In practical terms, this could mean reduced rolling shutter effects and snappier autofocus. It's the kind of tech that makes a real-world difference when you're shooting fast-moving subjects or filming on the go. But let's be real, 20.2 megapixels doesn't sound astonishing. In a world where smartphones boast 50 megapixels or more, some of you might be wondering, is Canon playing it too safe? Here's the thing, megapixels aren't everything. Higher megapixel counts often come at the cost of smaller pixels, which can hurt low-light performance. Canon seems to be opting for a balance, keeping the resolution practical enough for sharp images, but not so high that it sacrifices speed and noise control. So, if you're someone who cares more about the quality of each pixel rather than just the number of them, this sensor could be a smart move. It's a camera built to perform, not just impress on a spec sheet. Now let's talk about the brain of the camera, Canon's DIGIC X image processor. This isn't just any processor, it's the same tech found in Canon's higher-end models, which signals that Canon is serious about giving the V10 Mark II a performance boost. What does this mean for you? Faster image processing, better noise reduction, and smoother video recording. If you're someone who juggles between photography and vlogging, this extra power could make a difference in how quickly the camera responds to your commands, whether it's snapping burst shots or adjusting exposure on the fly. Of course, a camera is more than just its sensor and processor. Let's step away from the tech talk for a minute and think about how this camera might actually fit into your daily shooting routine. We don't have full spec details yet, but it's likely Canon will refine the design from the original V10. Maybe a slightly more ergonomic grip, maybe a bit of a battery boost. Small tweaks that add up. If you're a vlogger, you're probably wondering, will it have a fully articulating screen? Because let's be honest, that's a deal breaker for a lot of creators. Another big question, video capabilities. With the stacked sensor and DIGIC X processor working together, there's hope for smoother 4K recording with less rolling shutter. That could mean sharper, more stable footage when you're filming on the go. But again, without confirmation from Canon, we're left piecing together what this might actually look like. And what about audio? Built-in mics are fine for casual use, but serious creators will want solid support for external audio gear. Canon's been hit or miss with audio quality in their compact cameras, so it'll be interesting to see if they've upped their game here. Autofocus is one of the most important aspects of a camera, especially for vloggers and content creators. A camera can have great image quality, but if it struggles to keep subjects in focus, it quickly becomes frustrating to use. Right now, we know the V10 Mark II is rumored to have autofocus improvements, but we don't have confirmation on the exact system it will use. Canon has different autofocus technologies, including dual pixel autofocus, a hybrid system, and contrast detection autofocus. If this camera features dual pixel autofocus, we can expect smooth, accurate focusing that locks onto subjects quickly. That would be a major upgrade for video creators who need reliable face and subject tracking. However, if Canon sticks to contrast detection autofocus or a basic hybrid system, we could still see some hunting or focus delays, especially in low light. The autofocus system is one of the biggest unknowns right now, and it will play a huge role in determining how useful this camera really is. A camera's internal specs are important, but so is the way it feels in your hands. If you've ever used a camera that just didn't feel right, you know how much that can affect your experience. The original V10 had a compact, lightweight design, making it easy to carry around. But will the Mark II keep the same ergonomic feel? Or will Canon introduce some changes? One key area to watch is the screen. A fully articulating touchscreen would make vlogging much easier, allowing you to see yourself while recording. However, if Canon sticks with a limited tilting screen, that could be frustrating for creators who rely on flexible shooting angles. Another factor is button placement. Will the controls be intuitive, or will they be cramped and difficult to use? The build quality will influence how enjoyable this camera is to use daily, so hopefully, Canon finds a balance between portability and usability. No one likes dealing with a camera that constantly needs to be recharged. A great camera with poor battery life can be a headache, especially for vloggers and travelers who need to record for long periods. One potential issue with the V10 Mark II is that stacked sensors typically consume more power. So what does that mean for battery life? If Canon doesn't upgrade the battery, users might find themselves running out of power faster than expected. A possible solution is improved energy efficiency through the DIGIC X processor, but that can only go so far. A larger battery capacity, or USB-C, charging for easy power-ups on the go, could make a difference. If Canon sticks to a small battery without significant optimizations, battery life could be a major downside of this camera. Let's be fair, no camera is perfect, and it's worth thinking about both the strengths and the potential downsides. On the plus side, the stacked sensor paired with the DIGIC X processor shows Canon's focus on speed and efficiency. If autofocus gets the rumored upgrade, this camera could genuinely shine for hybrid shooters, those of you who switch between photo and video work on the fly. The 20.2 megapixels count could be a sticking point for some. If you love pushing the boundaries with massive prints or heavy cropping, this might feel limiting. It's not a deal breaker, but it's something to consider. Then there's the autofocus mystery. If Canon chooses to stick with contrast detection autofocus, it could leave the V10 Mark II lagging behind its competition, especially for those relying on fast subject tracking. And let's talk about the main concern: pricing. Stacked sensors and advanced processors don't come cheap. If Canon prices this camera too high without offering standout features, it might struggle to carve a niche for itself. People want value for their money, especially with so many strong options already on the market. So, what's the bottom line? The Canon V10 Mark II has the potential to be a solid camera, fast, efficient, and thoughtfully designed for creators. The stacked sensor and DIGIC X processor lay a strong foundation, but the unanswered questions about autofocus and pricing leave us cautiously optimistic. It seems like Canon is aiming for a balance between performance and practicality. The V10 Mark II could be a reliable tool for those who want speed, efficiency, and solid image quality without unnecessary gimmicks. But at the same time, the relatively modest 20.2 megapixels count and the uncertainty around autofocus might make some think twice. It's not chasing headline-grabbing specs, but rather focusing on delivering consistent, dependable results. Whether that's enough will depend on how Canon prices it and how well those rumored improvements actually perform in the real world. While there's still a lot we don't know, one thing's clear: the Canon V10 Mark II is shaping up to be an interesting addition to Canon's lineup, and it'll be worth keeping an eye on as more details emerge. So, that's all about the Canon V10 Mark II. Do let us know what you think about this camera. As for everything else, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you want more content like this on your feed.